Are back. Honey's done. And then that is Aggie. Hi, Aggie. Oh, there's Honey again. And that is their big box of toys. That's one of many. Thought you'd want to see my girls. This is them. Oh, geez, here comes Honey. Oh, boy. Yeah. Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I decided that I would do a video on dog treats. Now, I have 3 dogs, as you probably know if you watch my channel, and they're spoiled. Of course they are. And I like to make sure that I give them really good, wholesome treats. Well, one of the things they really like are, well, anything's dehydrated. They like apples that are dehydrated, they like squash, and they like sweet potatoes. I found that out originally because I bought a bag of sweet potatoes that were dehydrated at PetSmart, and they were $7 for a small bag. I thought that was just crazy expensive, but I bought them anyway, and they love them. So I make them myself. I buy these Dole premium sweet potatoes in a 3-pound bag. This bag was $1.99, and you can use that bag afterwards for mixed media and jelly plate. So that's another bonus. And I have found great results in what I've made. Part of the success you'll have in making anything is your dehydrator. I found this Nesco from American Harvester is a really great dehydrator. It not only is powerful, but it also has longevity. And what I mean by that is, in this one the motor is in the top. I don't know if you can see that, but the motor's in the top, and the other ones that I've found, the motor's been in the bottom. When you dehydrate things, as things shrink, pieces will drop out, seeds will drop out, anything that's loose will drop off, and it ends up going down to the bottom. Well, if your motor's at the bottom, it ends up going into the motor because it's spinning, and of course it's going to end up there. So I've had dehydrators die on me because of that. This one will take up to, I think, either 10 or 12 of these plates, and I've had it for years and I love it. It's not the cheapest one on the market, but when you think about how often you have to replace the other ones, it really is worth the money. So the other thing, before I go any further, is on this you want the temperature to be set at 135. 135 degrees is always what your setting should be at for anything you dehydrate. If it's any higher than that, you're going to have scorched looking food and it smells bad. If it's any lower than that, it takes forever to dehydrate. It should take you between 24 and 48 hours, depending on the thickness of your food, to dehydrate it. And you're going to want to plug this in someplace in the summer months, especially, where you won't mind the room getting a little warmer, because this will put off some heat because of the fan and the fact that it is heating 135 degrees. I would recommend in the summer months that you put it somewhere, either in your garage or under an enclosed setting like my patio, and that would work much better than being in the house. So let's get started, and I'll explain how I do this as I go. I've already done 1 tray of them and set them aside. You can kind of see it over there to the side. And I'll move the rest of this out of the way and only keep, you only need 1 tray at a time, and that's how I normally do it. When you cut your sweet potatoes, when you take the ends off of them, if you have any of this black on it, you want to get rid of that. It's really imperative that you get rid of that. I'm not sure why, but in everything that I've read, they always say that that you need to get rid of that. Sometimes you'll have it go through the whole potato, and if that's the case, like this one, your whole potato is pretty much ruined. Well, at least half of that one is. You're going to want to cut your potatoes in about an 1/8 of an inch slice, and I'll show you this once I get some done. And you want to butt them up against each other on the tray. You don't want to overlap them, you just want them to butt against each other. Let me cut one so you can actually see the slice of size. Maybe it's more. No, it's not 1/4 of an inch. I would say an 1/8 of an inch thick. I've done this for years, and my success has been from just making sure that I don't change up anything along the way. There is the thickness, if you can tell. It's about 1/4 of an inch. It's not always, yeah, I'll tell you how you'll know if you've done it too thick. If your tray doesn't fit firmly in the stack, then your sweet potatoes too thick. And then let me tell you one other thing before I go any further, and that is when you're doing this, you can mix your vegetables. If you want to have more than one kind of vegetable, you can put fruits in there as well. You can do different trays of different things, or you can combine. Let's say that you only have half the tray of sweet potatoes and you want to fill the tray, you can make apple slices. Now, apple slices, I would cut the apple in half, take the seeds out of it, and then slice it again at about 1/8 of an inch thick. And on an apple, you can put cinnamon on it, and it makes it really, really good. Last fall, we bought this acorn squash, and we bought a lot of it. When we bought it, Rich said, you know what we should do? We should freeze some of it, and then in the spring, we could thaw it out and make it into dog treats. Well, that sounded like a great idea, except for, if you know anything about acorn squash, it's really, really, it's hard as a rock. Okay, this is what it's like now. It's kind of gross. It's kind of mushy, and it was, at first, it was really hard to cut, but I really sharpened my knife and made it so it wouldn't be so. So when you have a squash that's gone yucky, kind of mucky like this, it's still good. It's just, well, it's easier to cut, which is a bonus, but you need a very sharp knife because the skin is kind of leathery. It's not hard to cut, it just seems like it gets kind of, I don't know, it's just weird. It's just wobbly, I'll call it. And I always leave the seeds in because I figured, I read everything I could about feeding your dog dehydrated things like this, and it didn't say anywhere that you couldn't feed them the seeds, although when the squash got mucky like this, I didn't like the idea of the seeds, so I didn't use the seeds in this batch. You will know when your squash or any of your vegetables or fruits are done because they will be very, very hard. They won't be bendy. You won't be able to kind of bend them back and forth. They should be so hard that when the dog or whatever animal you feed them to eats them, it should sound like they're eating rocks because it's so hard. But it's very good for their teeth, and it's really good for them overall because of all the nutrients that are in these. And one other thing, no, I know I look like I'm deadly with the knife. I'm not that deadly with the knife, and the reason is because I get this long type of a knife that is got the almost a V shape to it. It's a butcher knife, and that works much better for me because of my wrist. So in case you were wondering about me and knives, that's how I pick knives. It's based on that having the knife have that kind of extra leverage, I'll call it, so that I don't do much of the work. The knife does it for me. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions about it, please put it in the comments. I am going to be doing one on my dog treats that I make as well. I know that there are a lot of dog treat recipes out there. I've never had a dog turn my treats down, and when we go to the vets, we always take our treats with us just to keep our dogs occupied, and they won't eat the vet's treats in lieu of mine, which always makes me laugh because the vet thinks that's just unbelievable that they won't eat their treats. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll look forward to my other video on dog treats. And if you have any questions, again, put them in the comments. I'll be glad to answer them. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.